further ado, I'm going to have you see the video, and then we'll talk about it.
You are a good person. You spend time with your family. You work out at the gym.
Come on, push!
You conserve water while showering. You like nice clothes. You give to charity. You recycle. You drive a Prius, but you use your bike when you can. You enjoy the occasional distraction at work, and you always send a card on Mother's Day. Always. But there's a part of you that tells yourself that you're not so good, that you could be doing more, that the world is falling apart at the seams, and all you've been doing is yoga. One day you see that the rainforest is being destroyed at a staggering rate of 32 million acres a year. That's the equivalent of one football field every 78 seconds. You feel bad, angry, guilty. You've been apathetic for too long. You want to do something about it. You must do something about it. Well, this is what you're not going to do.
I quit!
You're not going to quit your job, leave your family, get on the next flight to Nicaragua, take a bus to the edge of the jungle, then hoof it across rivers, lakes, and streams on a quest to the very heart of the rainforest.
Take me to the heart of the rainforest.
You're getting closer. You're almost there. You have arrived.
You're not going to ingratiate yourself with the local tribesmen, go to great lengths to earn their respect and trust.
No.
It is around now you realize you're living out the cliché gringo fantasy of becoming an honorary native and leading the resistant forces. But screw it. If they could do it, so can you.
I'm gonna save you!
This guy comes over here, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna pull a zap thing, that's right through him, right over here.
You're not going to coordinate and occupy the rainforest movement, realize it's hopeless, summon the power of the gods, lead a revolution against the deforesters and their multinational employers in an apocalyptic, once-and-for-all battle to save humanity, only to awaken 2 days later in an El Salvadorian hospital with 2 toes missing on your left foot.
Siri, I wanna go home!
Hobble out of Central America, up through Mexico, across the Sierra Madre, where you break down, have your first cigarette in 4 years, accidentally start a wildfire, killing off the endangered species that once served as your occupational distraction, finally make it back home, only to find you've been replaced at work by a guy named TJ, and that things at home are not what they used to be. You're not going to do any of these things, but what you can do is follow the frog. Buying Rainforest Alliance certified products ensures the future of our rainforests, so that you don't have to do the things you shouldn't do anyway. Just follow the frog.
So how many of you have had that gringo fantasy? And how many of you lost toes? So just so you know, I actually do yoga. I've been to the heart of the rainforest, and I've been the unwitting host for many nasty bugs and rashes, but fortunately, I still have all my toes. So this video for us was unique in that our normal videos get 2,000 hits, 10,000 hits if we're lucky. We got up over 1 million, and we had more than 25 million tweets, helped along by a number of terrific spokespeople, and we were honored to receive a number of awards for the video. And the big takeaway for us, obviously, is that humor can open the door to what is normally a very serious topic, sustainability. So sustainability and social issues are authentic, and that's important, right? They're critical to our future. But authenticity can also be authentically boring, right? So how can we engage people where they are? And humor can bring you in. I watched all of you, and I know that you saw yourself in there. And engage the consumer with humor, but also with that authenticity that they're looking for. So in traditional marketing, people are always looking at the core attributes, right? And then saying, all right, well, we really can't talk about much else. But I think there's a real shift going on where consumers are looking for more. And authenticity is something that they are looking for. And sustainability can bring you there. So let's take a quick look at one of my favorite food groups. chocolate. So traditional marketing, you talk about the taste, the smoothness, the quality, the price perhaps. But with sustainability, you can take the story deeper. You can engage the consumer. So we can trace chocolate to the Ivory Coast, where 40% of it is produced. And we can show people the farm with the beautiful wildlife and trees that are being protected and conserved on that farm. We can bring people to the farmer and his life. And we can also show the impact that eating that bar of chocolate can have. Here we're looking at the nursery that's made possible by people buying this farmer's chocolate. And we also can show behind them why this matters. Cocoa farmers live on less than $1 a day. You're buying that bar of chocolate for at least $2, most likely. And with the farmers that we're working with in cocoa, because of the brands that have committed to buying Rainforest Alliance certified cocoa, they are getting 70% higher income on their farms through the sustainability practices that we've helped them enjoy. So, bottom line, the story of the people who produce our goods is important to us. Those who work with the land are our partners, and we want to support them. We want to engage with them. Oops. So the idea is to engage rather than to guilt people, to help us be part of something bigger, and to help the consumer take small steps to connect, turn away, and keep the message simple. In our case, follow the frog. But behind a simple message, there needs to be substance. There needs to be authenticity. So Rainforest Alliance works in 100 countries in forestry, agriculture, tourism. We design standards for sustainable management, and we work with brands to purchase products from those sustainably managed farms, in this case. We have, in the farm standard, 100 different criteria that we're auditing annually in the field, looking at things like waste management, water management, biodiversity, deforestation, child labor, health and safety, living wage, housing, etc. So what can brands do? Follow the frog. But if you don't like frogs, you can still make 100% commitment to sustainability. And 100% is key. Because for a number of different reasons. First of all, you need to look at risk in your supply chain, and increasingly companies are recognizing that if they don't take care of the people who are producing the products and the environment in which those products are being produced, they're not going to be in business. So just focusing on one SKU is not going to solve your long-term challenges. Secondly, increasingly consumers don't trust companies that are just putting a little patch and saying, okay, well, I'll do this little product that's sustainable, but meanwhile, I'm going to go ahead and do everything the same old way. So it doesn't help you with the broader engagement with consumers and in building that trust that you need with them to do one SKU. And you're in good company, because we're seeing many companies make these types of commitments. We've gone from, in just food products, 1,000 companies we worked with 5 years ago to 3,000. We're seeing commitments, you'll hear from Unilever later, of 100% sustainable sourcing from many mainstream companies as well as many smaller leading companies. And for us, Rainforest Alliance, we now have 10% of the world's cocoa certified, 15% of the world's bananas, and 12% of the world's tea. So there's no excuse anymore. You can take this stuff mainstream. So what about consumers? We often hear, particularly in the United States, from companies saying, well, there's those 10% of people who care, but everybody else, too much trouble, they're not going to respond to our marketing. I disagree with that, and I disagree with that because I think while consumers don't list environment at the top of their core attributes that they're looking for, there's a shift going on around the values of people across the globe, including Americans, where sustainability can reach them without calling it sustainability. So a really interesting study by Young and Rubicam. They look at brand attributes. They've been doing this for 20 years. In 50 countries, I think it's 250,000 consumers they survey annually. They've identified the biggest shift in consumer attitudes ever. They're calling that the spend shift. And that spend shift is about moving from mindless consumerism to mindful consumerism. And in the United States, they've identified 55% of Americans as belonging to that spend shift group across demographics, across political persuasion, across socioeconomic class and educational class, and across geographies. Yes. So some of the attributes that these spend shifters are looking for are kindness and empathy, and these percentages of what they've seen gone up in the last couple of years. Kindness and empathy, friendliness, high quality, socially responsible. People are looking for those values behind the brands, behind the products and services that they're buying. So just because consumers haven't asked for it, whoops, doesn't mean they don't want it. You saw my sneak. Okay, so who woke up one morning and said, I'm tired of plain old potato chips, I want a ridge potato chip? Nobody woke up and said, I want a ridge potato chip. Company came up with the idea, marketeers went out with it, and persuaded us all that we couldn't live without a ridge potato chip. So why can't we create demand for sustainability? If we can create demand for carbonated sugar water, and huge demand for carbonated sugar water, if we can create demand for sports cars, expensive sports cars, why can't we create demand for things that people actually really need? So humor, authenticity, engagement are all elements that you can bring into sustainability messaging. I talk to hundreds of companies, and I hear 5 common excuses around why they can't communicate, even if they're doing really good stuff, why they can't communicate about a sustainable product. Consumers aren't asking for it. We sort of debunked that a little bit. And then they say, well, when we give it to them, they don't want it. In my experience, when they're doing that, they've raised the price, they've only done it with one product, so they've confused the consumer, they've done it with poor quality messaging. There's a number of reasons. It's not the sustainability premise. Or people say sustainability is too expensive, it's boring. We're seeing people are mainstreaming sustainability and getting it at the same cost. Lipton is going 100% Rainforest Alliance certified, and it is at the same price. We might lose market share. We saw McDonald's in the UK actually go with Rainforest Alliance certified coffee and increase their sales of coffee. It was also better coffee. And then we hear we need to communicate about core attributes. People get confused if you bring in this other stuff. What this other stuff will do is build loyalty to your brand and help people shift away from others and reduce your reputational risk as well as engage them for the long term. So you all are brilliant at this stuff, at selling things. So you can be part of the solution. And it's not about bringing in sustainability or environment. It's about these underlying values to tap into. And we see different things that people are interested in that can play into the sustainability story, where things come from in terms of origin, that they're local, they're artisanal, that they are from a trustworthy place, that they can give people deeper engagement, that people can belong to a broader community. And it can be cool and fun and meaningful, and sustainability can be all that. So people want to do the right thing. Like this. The key is identifying that opportunity for them and creating a culture around it. And you all are brilliant at doing that. And why can't we all work together around creating new sustainability messaging? I've seen some brilliant ads that focus on these types of things, but I think underneath we all need to work together on a broader sustainability narrative. The American dream underlies all of our ads, right? All of our advertising messages. How do we create a broader sustainability-oriented underlying American dream in this country and the equivalent in other countries that is the underpinnings for a new way of engaging consumers and selling the things that people really need? So Rainforest Alliance would like to bring people together to have conversations about that. So if you're interested, do come up to me at some point and let me know that you'd like to be engaged in that. And that's it. So thank you very much.